My name is Sam Sharp, and I'm a doctoral candidate in the Division of Biology at Kansas State University. I moved to Kansas in 2015 to begin a PhD program studying plant evolutionary ecology and ecological genomics. As an evolutionary biologist, I ask questions about diversity and variation, why there are so many different kinds of life on Earth, and how they came to differ from one another. For my first 4 years at K-State, I was a TA for a class about organismal diversity. We taught students about diatoms and dictosteliomycota and bryophytes and tunicates and rotifers, organisms that break every seemingly essential rule about what it takes to survive on Earth. But as I taught this course over and over, I began to notice that there was one area in the curriculum where the diversity of life had been simplified down to a binary variable. Across animals, plants, fungi, and others, we only spoke of biological sex as always and only either male or female. It began to concern me that our curriculum presented male and female as universal and irreducible properties of organisms without defining what they meant or describing how they varied across species. To some people, an oversimplified and incomplete presentation of biological sex in the classroom might appear harmless or irrelevant. But my worries persisted, not only because our students were missing out on the fantastic diversity of sex across taxa, but because the way we teach sex in biology shapes how we understand sex in human society. And because many people still believe, subconsciously or explicitly, that our biological sex as assessed by the conformation of external genitals at birth determines our gender identity and sexual attractions, the implications of this binary thinking are even more insidious. And perhaps this flaw of omission in the curriculum caught my attention because the implicit assumptions it has about dyadic sex categories and unquestioned concordance between assigned sex and expressed gender, and heterosexual reproductively oriented mate pairings as default, fails miserably to account for my own experiences in the world. My body has refused to limit itself to the set of characteristics generally associated with the sex it has been labeled. My gender exists outside and beyond the categories of men and women. The way I love and relate to other humans has always been queer. I've been told that people like me do not exist, that we are delusional about our own realities, that our desires and our self-understandings are illegitimate, and that all the ways that we are wrong about ourselves can supposedly be proven by biology. And I've been told by others in the scientific community that discussions of sex beyond male and female, gender beyond the binary, sexualities other than heterosexual in our classrooms and our research and our science communication is a distraction, an undue focus on the thoroughly unscientific domain of identity. But I think that teaching and studying and communicating all the ways that biology is not only heterosexual, is not only dioecious, is not only anisogamous, makes us better scientists and instructors. I want our students and our communities to engage with the ways that life on Earth refutes narrow and bigoted understandings of what is and is not natural, biological, or real. Because we do not have to search far to find incredible variation in the physical, behavioral, parental, and relational aspects of sex in the non-human world. We live in the same planet as clownfish and jack-in-the-pulpits that can switch sex during their lifetimes. Animals like seahorses and pipefish that have a male gestational parent. Male glass frogs that carefully guard their eggs, and male crocodiles who are relatively unconcerned with theirs. Birds of paradise with remarkable sexual dimorphism and penguins with almost none. Snails and lemon trees where a single organism can both produce sperm and ova, and nematode worms that can do all of that and also self-fertilize. Fungi that have discarded heterogamy altogether and reproduce sexually by way of thousands of mating types that produce morphologically similar gametes. Bacteria and algae that can engage in sex without needing to produce gametes at all. When I look around the biological world, I see that I am far from alone in being neither, other, and both male and female. And these parts of myself make me more deeply and intricately connected to the diversity of life on Earth, not less. I'd like to thank you for listening to my presentation today, and I invite you to keep this conversation about biology and diversity going on by emailing me or contacting me on Twitter. Thanks again, and enjoy the meeting.